Riddle me this. How is a 50-year mortgage the same as a 30-year mortgage? So we're seeing a lot about the 50-year mortgage option in the news media. Most is pretty negative, which I find interesting. This is not about politics, so please keep your political opinions to yourself. This is about home ownership. But I took a deep dive into the data, the actual numbers, and I don't know if I was surprised, but I found it very interesting, and I think I may have had like a kind of a aha moment. And maybe when I'm done here in the next 2 minutes, you'll have the same thing. So let's look at the data. So very specifically, a first-time buyer, that group, and then the first-time buyer that is now moving up to their second home. The data, the stats, all say and point to that those two groups will sell their home in 5 to 7 years. Period. End of story. So that 50-year mortgage is not 50 years, it's 5 to 7 years. But the bigger reality is that the majority of those two groups will likely refinance their home within 3 years. So now we're talking about a 50-year mortgage that turns into really a 3-year mortgage. Or let's just use the data point of a 3 to 5 year mortgage. So what does that actually do when we start looking at it a little bit different with the actual data that's behind those two groups, first-time buyer and that first-time buyer moving up to their second home? So when I dug into it, what I found was that, on a 50-year mortgage, what it could actually do for a borrower, somebody who wants to buy a house, it can reduce their monthly payment by about 10%. So think about it that way. So let's just use a round number of mortgage payment is $3,500 a month. So a 50-year mortgage can reduce their monthly obligation by $350. And again, this is only a 3 to 5 year situation, right? So starting to add up now, right? 30-year, 50-year, really doesn't matter. They're pretty much the same. And here's why. We all know our mortgages are front-loaded with interest. So in that first 3 to 5 year period, we're primarily paying interest in our mortgage payment every single month. So we're not really paying down the principal, right? Maybe just a little tiny bit, but we are paying towards our interest. So the reality, again, there's your answer. That's how they're the same. 30-year, 50-year, doesn't matter. We're just simply paying interest in that first 3 to 5 years for the most part. But if you want to twist it, spin it a little bit, if I'm in a 50-year mortgage and I'm saving $350 a month, one, that might actually help me buy a house. That's a win. Two, maybe you don't necessarily need that savings, but maybe I want to be smart about building my equity and my wealth. And instead of pocketing that $350 a month that I'm saving on the 50 years, I'm now taking that $350 a month and putting it straight towards the principal over the next 3 to 5 years, paying down the principal, therefore building more equity and wealth. So again, you can spin data and numbers any way you want. Again, let's not make this political, but I would love to see your comments, your thoughts, your opinion once you take this data into consideration, right? So let's think about the numbers and what does that really do for us from a home ownership and affordability? Does it actually help people get into homes? One last data point. Home values are not dropping. So if you're going to put that in the comment that, well, that needs to happen, it's not happening. The projection for this coming year is that home values are going to actually increase by 5 to 6%. So again, could a 50-year mortgage actually help more people get into a home and stop renting and paying somebody else's mortgage, because that's all they're doing, and start building their own equity and wealth? Again, love to hear your comments below, so hit me.